It's turning into one of the best seasons in the history of this series, bolstered by a new class that has turbocharged the paddock and turned heads round the nation. The next stop takes us to country Victoria, drawing fans from rural districts nearby and across the border of neighbouring New South Wales. Known for its wine and history that ties this region to the famous outlaw Ned Kelly. We're ready for a standoff of a different kind as the Car Sales TCR Australia Series loads up for a critical round. Welcome to Winton Motor Raceway and our coverage of Round 5 of the Shannons Nationals. It might be the final day of winter, but spring has already arrived and it could be no better for motor racing this weekend here at Winton Motor Raceway. Highs of 17 degrees expected this afternoon, hardly a breath of wind around and absolutely no chance of rain. As we said in the introduction there, it is a pivotal round for the series. Hi everybody, Greg Rust and Aaron Noonan with you live here on SBS for round 5 of the series. What a season it's been so far. And the points, well, they tell a pretty impressive story. Other than the last round in Queensland, young Will Brown has been a star, hasn't he?
The 21-year-old from Toowoomba started the season like a rocket ship with 8 podiums from the first 8 races, but the wheels fell off in the last round at Queensland Raceway, so he's got to respond this weekend. But this is a track where he feels the Hyundai i30N will be the car to beat, and what we've seen so far today in practice and qualifying, I think he's right.
Absolutely. So he leads this series coming into the round by 57 points. Had a bit of interesting qualifying session though, with a slight moment at the beginning, but recovered to park the car up nice and early, having safely secured his first pole in the championship. Pretty cool.
And the critical thing there is, Greg, 2 series points for pole position in TCR and $1,000, so his crew's going to be very happy for dinner and drinks tonight, and that puts him out to 59 points clear in the series battle and gives him his first pole of the year with 5 different drivers with the 5 poles so far this season. So the competitiveness of TCR is really good.
So let's underscore that point by showing you the series standings coming into Winton. So Will Brown is on top from Dylan O'Keefe and the Spider-Man. We've affectionately called him Peter Parker. He shares a lot of similarities in the looks of Peter Parker. He's come on in leaps and bounds in the recent rounds. The Alpha driver is a real threat, isn't he?
Dylan O'Keefe has been one of the young stars, so it's a couple of 21-year-olds who are fighting for the series crown in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. He's come off a great weekend at Queensland Raceway, almost erased the series margin of Will Brown, and this is a place where he's done a lot of laps too over the years as well.
Russell Ingall is back behind the wheel of the Castrol Audi here. Fantastic to have one of the legends of Australian motorsport, but we're also welcoming some fresh faces, and in the car that's recently been campaigned by the likes of Aaron Seaton, Garth Tander, we find young Liam McAdam.
Young guy with a lot of experience already for a young Queenslander. He's been the Super 3 Series champion from a couple of years ago with Eggleston Motorsport. So he steps into a car that we know is very competitive and very, very fast. And we also welcome the current Super 2 Series points leader in Bryce Forward, who's had a stunning year for Matthew White's team in the Neston Altima. He now swaps the Nissan and drives a Subaru WRX this weekend to make his TCR debut in Kelly Racing, where he'll drive the Supercar Enduros later in the year.
Absolutely, and they've done some work on those Subarus in recent rounds after a couple of hurdles. But it's a big learning curve for Bryce, a very different car to what we've been used to seeing him in of late.
Completely different. Front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, about half the power, turbocharger as well. He's a guy with a lot of experience for a very young driver, so it'll take him a little bit of time to come to grips. But we know that car with Andre Heimgartner has been fast so far this year, so keep an eye on him as he starts to learn the ropes with that car.
Winton, of course, is 3 kilometres, a very different layout to what we've seen in recent events, though, and that should spice things up. It will suit these TCR cars, won't it?
We've had a lot of fast and flowing tracks with Sydney Motorsport Park and the Bend and Phillip Island and Queensland Raceway. First time we've come to a track like this with stop-start, so it'll be a good chance for hard racing, plenty of overtaking opportunities, and the good thing is too that the weather is good as well, not just for today but also for tomorrow. Lots of blue sky around, couple of clouds, but it's perfect conditions for racing.
One of the great things about the TCR series worldwide is the direct DNA between race car and road car, and in the build-up to round 5 of the championship, a few of us were able to sample a couple of the road-going versions on a drive to Mount Buller.
Take the brake off. That's a good start.
Good start. Tony, do you want to go tobogganing? They've got one your size.
Don't worry about love. Just worry about going fast.
Some race drivers and TV types. It was always going to end in a snow fight of some sort, wasn't it? We'll bring you that tomorrow. In the meantime, we're on the grid now. Here is the Astron Tech pole sitter. There's a bit of jibing going on, Will, between you and Andre. I think your teammate Nathan Morecambe said to me a moment ago, the Send It pair are on the front row. We in for some fireworks at turn 1?
Yeah, definitely. I think Andre's going to want to get his first win, and I'll want to win as well. So it's going to be a pretty cool first lap, but hopefully we keep it clean and have a good one.
Congratulations on the pole position. How much of today and tomorrow is about preserving that series lead?
Oh, I want to win races, that's for sure. But no, we'll have a crack. Hopefully we can get a few wins this weekend. We'll wait and see what happens.
Righto, good luck. We'll venture across just quickly to the Kiwi. You said to us after qualifying, it hasn't been always that great getting off the line. Can you find a little something for this today?
Yeah, well, he doesn't seem to think so. But yeah, we did some practice starts and I think I've sort of got it nailed. But we'll wait and see. It's a bit of an unknown with this car. We're just trying to find the sit-up and we don't know what it'll be like over the race. We even tuned it on what we're guessing it's going to be like during the race. So either, we'll be going good or we'll be going backwards.
Great job. It looks as though they've unlocked a little something in the Astrakhan.
Thank you very much, Rusty. I've got Jordan Cox here now. Jordan, we've had one-off stories for you so far, but great news for you now with Gary Rogers Motorsport securing your services for the rest of this season.
Yeah, that's right, Cam. No, we're locked in for the rest of the year, so very, very exciting. So it's good to be able to be planned for the rest of the year and just get into driving and worrying about that. So, very exciting, mate.
Now, you did also switch over to the Alpha last time out there. Dylan O'Keefe's doing a good job in this style of car. Slightly different team, Ash Seawood Motorsport and GRM. Is he helping you out with any information, any data?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We go on the track, we share data and we set up ideas. We're all sort of doing our own thing at the same time, but we're working together to try and move further up the grid.
All right, mate. Now, alongside you just over there is Russell Ingall, the enforcer. At the start of this year, as we went into season 2019, did you ever think you'd be on a grid alongside that man?
No. No, that's pretty cool, hey. So, Rusty, he's a hard racer. I used to love watching him when I was a kid. So, it's pretty surreal around a lot of these guys, like a lot of hardcore racers, a lot of quick guys. So, bring it on, eh?
Good luck, Jordo.
Cool. Yeah.
With Tony D'Alberto on the third row of the grid, and the Honda's performance has actually been pretty handy here. Your teammate John Martin just one row ahead of you.
Yeah, little bugger got me in qualifying. Yeah, no, not too bad. We're just still trying to get a little bit better set up, a little bit taily there this morning. So hopefully we'll make some changes now and it'll suit my style a little bit more. But yeah, we're close enough to the front to attack today.
We had a good chat yesterday. You feel like this place will be good for the Civic Type R, don't you?
Yeah, we really do. It's not, straights aren't quite as long. There's a lot more corners, so that's where the Honda's really strong.
All right, we'll wander around just very quickly and have a quick word, if we can, to Jason Bright before we get going, because this car was strong at the beginning of the championship, fast at Phillip Island, but then it dropped away a little bit. Jason, the boys seem to have unlocked and found something important, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a bit more on the money here than what we were the last couple of rounds, so a couple of tenths and we'd be a couple of rows up, so it's all that close. But no, it's good to be back in the car that I felt like I was driving the start of the year.
Okay. And you think it's going to be a good race day today? This one is this track. There could be some fireworks.
Oh, there will be. I mean, it takes so long to get tyre temp here, particularly in the rear. So I think that first couple of laps are going to be pretty wild.
Good on you. Good luck, Jason.
Thanks, Rusty. I've got Dylan O'Keefe, one of our series contenders here. Dylan, it was a good time out at Queensland Raceway, but Will Brown's found some speed again.
Yeah, Will's definitely been quick this weekend. I mean, we had a couple of issues in practice which didn't enable us to get a good read on the car, so qualifying was more of a practice for us. Ended up P4, which is okay. We can race from here. We won the round at Queensland from P4, so who knows what can happen. Just focus on the racing now.
Now, Rusty and Noons have been calling you Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It seems to be sticking at the moment, mate. How does that sit with you?
A few of my close mates I've spoken to say it doesn't really add up, but each their own. I'm not fazed.
Well, I was hoping we could see a bit of Spider-Man action out there, mate. They're going to get caught in the web?
Hopefully. Let's hope so. Get caught up in it and I'll go around them.
All right, Dylan. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Some fresh faces on the grid for this round that we talked about at the commencement of the coverage. This is one of them, Tim Brook. You've really loved this, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to get this started. It's been a good weekend so far. Really enjoying it. Just loving the challenge out in these little rocket ships.
Huge change for you, Toyota 86 Series. We know you've been successful there, but this is a very different beast, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's a lot to get my head around. Even slick tyres. I've never raced on them before. Left-hand drive. It's been a baptism of fire, but stoked to be with all racing there. They're looking after me and trying to do the best that we can and see what happens out there now.
Intercepted a little mobile call with Tony D'Alberto yesterday. You're almost in your race suit in the road car on the way up. You were that excited, weren't you?
Absolutely, mate. I've been hanging for something like this and just stoked to get out there. I can see Tony up there in the distance, so I might try and say good day to him later on.
Great start, mate. Great debut. Go get him. Thank you
very much. Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
John Martin on the second row of the grid. Johnny, you've been a race winner in TCR, mate, but you've got your work cut out for you today.
Yeah, definitely. I think we overcompensated a little bit after practice to quali, just with a bit of setup stuff. But so I've reversed a bit of that. But yeah, we'll go and see what we got here in race 1, I guess. But yeah, obviously, the 4 or 5 guys around us are definitely pretty quick. It's pretty close as well after quali, so should be good fun.
Now, where do you see your advantage in the Honda?
Just hoping to get one of them good old-fashioned Honda Lightning starts here, lead into 1. That'd be nice, and then we'll control it from there.
All right, Johnny, good luck, mate. We're going to start getting set for a race here. I'm going to shut the grid at the moment. Now, we are set race 1 here as we come to the business end of the season for the Car Sales TCR Series. We're starting to clear the grid now. That means we better go up to Aaron Noonan.
Thank you, Cameron. Looking forward to this. And this is the 13th race of the season. Will it be unlucky for some or lucky for others? James Moffat's ready to go. The Renault starts from position 11. He's been on the podium a couple of times this year, but he's got his work cut out for him. 18 laps ahead. Let's take a look at the venue today. Winton Motor Raceway, 12 turns. They call it the nation's action track. I've got a funny feeling we're going to see some of that today. 3 kilometres. Once upon a time it was 2. That extension from 1997, turns 10, 11, 12 created. And this is a venue that in this part of Victoria, it's very, very busy. It's always in use. There's always events or testing. It is the perfect racetrack for TCR Australia with these pocket rockets, the front-wheel drive 2-litre turbos. To navigate a lap around here, let's jump on board for the pole lap with this man, Will Brown, in car number 30. I hope you enjoyed that. A hot lap around Winton. The pole lap with Will Brown. The time, 1 minute 24.0981. But that means nothing now. He's got to get the job done. He'll line up on the front row alongside the Holden Astra of Andre Heimgartner. Dylan O'Keefe, the Alfa Romeo on board. Car number 9, second row of the grid. What a grid, what a mix. Hyundai on pole position, Holden alongside, then Honda and Alfa Romeo, another Honda, then a Volkswagen, 6 and 7, Jason Bright and Aaron Cameron. Here's the first of the Renaults. James Moffat starts 11th. His teammate Chris Pither starts from position number 14. 18 laps ahead. First race of the weekend. It's a 7-round and 21-race series. It's our 5th round. It's our 13th race. The car's leaving now on the warm-up lap to get some temperature in the Michelin Control tyres. And watch how aggressive the drivers are to get the heat into the rear tyres here in TCR. It is all about front tyre temp initially, and then it's about the rears because they really are hanging on for the ride. Beautiful weather, blue skies, couple of clouds around, but ideal for racing. Will Brown is the points leader. That margin is now 59 points to Dylan O'Keefe. 40 points on the line, Greg Russ, for this race and for race 2 tomorrow. And then the 50-point final comes up tomorrow afternoon. So although we're getting to the business end of the series, there are still big points on the line. Let's take you through the grid. And look at that mix. Hyundai, Holden, Honda, Alfa, Volkswagen, and an Audi rounds out the 10. Russell Ingall, the best of the Audis in the Castrol car, number 100.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic noons, isn't it? I just love that variety that you said there a moment ago. And there's been some stories in the wake of qualifying. I mean, with Jason Bright's car, for example, they've discovered since Queensland some cracks in things like the chassis, for example. And they think it goes back as far as Phillip Island. Car was fast at Sydney Motorsport Park, quick at Phillip Island, but then it's dropped away from there. He's got some pace. He's got some confidence again this weekend.
You can see there on the grid, there's 19 cars lining up. Aaron Cameron, the 19-year-old, he's the youngest in the TCR Australia Series field this weekend. He starts from position 7. Lost a bit of practice time this morning. Bit of a different race format for us this weekend, or event format. The races are the same, but normally we have 2 practice sessions on Friday afternoon. But instead this weekend we had the 150-minute session this morning, straight into qualifying, and now race 1 of the weekend. So it's a little bit of a rhythm change for the drivers and the teams, but it's meant that they're on the track more often today.
And that rhythm for Aaron was made even worse by some dramas in that practice session, which really hurt him in terms of vital track time. So they were able to recover from that, get the car pretty handy in the first and third sector, but they've even discovered an issue for James Moffat here in the Renault Megane. No.
And he stopped. I'm just watching out of our commentary box. That's over around the tree at the exit of Penrite Corner.
Here.
And this might cause a delay to the race start if they can't move that car. Remember that he had a drama where he didn't start the first race at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's going on here. This is a strange one. The race safe team is over there to remove the Renault from where it's stranded. The field is lining up as we speak on the grid. 5th in the points, James Moffat, and this will sting.
Well, it'll sting because you said before he's still mathematically a contender. So what a blow to James Moffat.
Toe to the infield. There's clearly no chance that car is going to return under its own power. So real drama for GRM with the Renault Megane RS. They have had their representation cut in half. It leaves Chris Pither, the only one on the grid in position 14. And the rest of the field is on the grid, ready and waiting while that car has been recovered.
With the Send It pair on the front row, Will Brown v. Andre Heimgartner. We're set for the first of 3 races for the weekend. Moffat's got going again. He's managed to get that Megane going again. So we're just trying to confirm with the officials here whether they may do another warm-up lap or whether it'll be underway very shortly. So held on that grid for quite some time.
The rest of the field is lined up on the grid with a spot, position 11, which James Moffat was supposed to be in. Now, will he bring this car to the lane? He does, because they need to suss this out and make sure that this car's got an issue that potentially is rectifiable and he can be returned to the race. So a delayed start here at Winton for race 1, round 5 of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. That'll necessitate another warm-up lap. You can see the sign there being shown. Oh, and Chris Pither's in the lane as well. Disaster for the Renaults from GRM. Have they got the same problem? Have they got different problems? Hopefully Emma and Cam can find out a bit more on what on earth is going on. It's been a miserable year for Chris Pither. He's had no luck. They've had mechanical dramas. In fact, in the last couple of rounds, 3 races he hasn't been able to start. 1 he didn't finish, and 1 he finished 16th. It's been a tough run for the Kiwi, the Super 2 champ from last year.
And it's died again, has it?
It's bad news for Moffat. He's made it back to the lane. We might take a quick break. We'll get a race start here from Winton when we come back. Back at Winton, good to go. Race 1, round 5 of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. 10-second board has been given. We're good to go. Not so good to go. The Renaults are in pit lane with fuel pressure issues. We'll update you on that one as we get rolling. Away and racing at Winton. Andre Heimgartner in the Astra has made a great jump. Turn 1 awaits. It always causes some drama at Winton, but it's Heimgartner to the lead. Brown makes some contact in the background as they work their way through up the old pit straight. Down the inside, John Martin is going for second spot and got it.
Awesome stuff. Look at the aggressiveness from Jason Bright as well. He's ideally placed here. Aaron Cameron on the outside. Tony D'Alberto moving through. Good start by Nathan Morecambe in the second of the Hyundais. Brown is dropping back here. Back in 4th position now.
On board with the series leader. He started from pole. He's been shuffled back behind Jason Bright. Cold tyres and he's off the road just about. Boy, that was wild. Heimgartner's got Martin challenging. The Honda going a long way around the tree. If he can hang there, he's on the inside for the next corner. Bit of a bump. Noses in the gap. Will hang on. Heimgartner out wide. Bright down the inside. This is a great first lap.
Everyone was saying it was going to be a loose first lap. It's on here. Look at Jason Bright. Not the right spot, though, for the next one. The left-hander that is turn 10. Sliding a little bit loose for Martin on entry. He holds it from Heimgartner. Bright is right there. Brown trying to get those tyres up to temperature. He's starting to find some form now. Watch Will Brown.
Heimgartner looking every which way. Brown pounces on Bright. The series leaders through to 3rd place at turn 11. 1 lap down. A little bit of a margin for John Martin on the run down the start-finish line. We said this was going to be tight. It's delivering. O'Keefe now having a look at Bright, who covers off the Alfa Romeo down to turn 1. Martin leads in the Honda. Heimgartner, remember, he's not in the series fight. He's had a tough year. He does not care about points. He wants a trophy, he wants some champagne, and he will not worry about anybody else's title.
And good battle going on behind there by the looks of it, with Jordan Cox and Russell Ingall in the mix there. We ride with Dylan O'Keefe, second in the series. Very strong at Queensland last time out. 7 times on the podium so far in 2019. And he wants to stay in touch with this group. Look at the margin that Martin currently enjoys. It's 1.2 seconds. Brown to P2 now.
Guys, it was a brake pedal issue for Chris Pither. As you can see, they're retiring that car. Moff managed to get back out. Fuel pressure issue for him.
Yeah, Emma, they've parked the James Moffat car in the old pit lane here on the old pit straight. James is out of that car, so disastrous day for GRM. Good day for more racing in Honda. Martin leads. Brown is way to second. Heimgartner and Bright, O'Keefe and D'Alberto, Aaron Cameron, Nathan Morecambe, Jordan Cox, Russell Ingall 10th. Leanne Tander making moves. She's up to position 11. Good start in the number 3 Audi. Started from position 15. It has helped, though. There's been 2 Renaults that she hasn't had to get by.
We're back at Winton, of course, where they had the pre-season test for this series, and a couple of them have had hit-outs or outings here, so there's some good learnings that are being applied here. Look at Jason Bright now. Not in the right spot, though, to attack Andre Heimgartner as they come into turn 1 and 2.
Jason Bright right in the mix here, the 98 Bathurst champ. He's been down on form and some dramas that Greg documented with this car, but he's back in the fight this weekend, fighting with the cars that have been the regular contenders here in pit lane 2. That a problem for Bryce forward in the Subaru from the Kelly team. Drive shaft issue for that car. So the current Super 2 Series points leader is in the lane, so the curse of the Subarus continues. Andre Heimgartner had all sorts of troubles with that car earlier on in the year. Look at this fight. Look how close it is. The top 10 separated by nothing. This is the forward car in the lane, and you're going to attack that drive shaft drama and hopefully get him some laps and at least start to learn a little bit more and get ready for tomorrow.
Brown has got the gap, has managed to reduce it to less than a second, as you can see there now. It was out to 1.2 seconds, but Martin is under fire here from the series leader, Will Brown. Hyundai versus Honda.
There's a real pattern with this i30N. Will Brown has told me about this car. It comes on really strong in the races, but if it comes on too strong too early, he's got nothing left later on in terms of the tyres over-pressuring. So a safety car period is the godsend for the Hyundai, because it just gives everything a chance to cool off, a chance for everything to back down. He's not going to fight for this title by cruising and collecting. He will fight for race wins. He's said it all year, and now he's closing in on John Martin. Up the hill, over the old pit straight here at Winton. Turn 3, they've got a margin. Heimgartner third is a couple of seconds behind. a bit of a private fight between these two out front. The rest are fighting for that last spot on the podium.
Got to say, though, the Kelly Racing team have clearly unlocked something with that Astra. Andre saying to both of us before this race, it's better in the mid-corner now. He can push it harder mid-corner. And what a difference from the cooler conditions in practice this morning to qualifying, where he was able to get that car on the front row. And a lot of it, I think, is down to the way Andre wrestles it. Really impressive stuff.
It's one of 8 brands in the TCR Australia field. We haven't seen an Astra on a podium so far this year. Of course, those cars they race as Opels overseas. They're sourced through the German team, Lubna Motorsport. Will Brown's having a good old look here. Down at turn 10, showing the nose on the Honda. And in fact, Heimgartner's been shuffled back. Bright's got through to third. The Astra's been put back to P5 because O'Keefe has got through as well. If Jason Bright's got anything to hunt these two down as they start to fight with one another. Back on board, this is O'Keefe, the Alpha, chasing Jason Bright. They're third and fourth, across the line, 4 laps down. And John Martin's been a race winner this year, remember, at the Bend Motorsport Park, but he's had a tough year. Big accident down at Phillip Island, which necessitated a chassis swap between that team with another car coming into the mix. That's the drive shaft that was in the Subaru, and that's not how it should be. Trying to get Bryce forward, back onto the road, do some more laps. This is the fight out front. John Martin, highly credentialed international Australian driver, probably doesn't have the reputation in the mainstream that some of his contemporaries do, but he's been there and he's done it. He's been to Le Mans, he's raced in the A1 Grand Prix, he's been in all those top junior levels of open-wheeler racing. He's a guy with heaps of experience, and he's fitted in really, really well in the series this year.
You would argue that the addition of TCR to his impressive and diverse CV might throw up some questions, but man, has he absolutely shown how rounded he is as a driver, and continuing to do so here. Fastest first sector coming up from Jason Bright here. So Bright has shown that they have fixed by the sounds of it, and we've got a move for the lead. Brown all locked up. Martin tries to sneak back underneath him. Brown's in the not ideal. They come together, the pair of them. Brown off the track.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. It got Willing. Bright's going to get him. Second place will be on the line here. The Task Force VW is right there with him now, through to second spot. So Brown has to defend from Dylan O'Keefe. That's the guy he needs to worry about. That's the guy that's the challenger for the series title this year. And Will Brown, that could have gone really wrong. That was probably a fight. I mean, it was a good move at turn 11, but the stuff at turn 12, sometimes you just got to put those cards down and fold and play the next hand.
Racing incident. How will Alex Davison, the driving standards advisor, look at that one, do you think?
Hard to say, but I reckon there's probably a bit in both of that. So, I mean, he made the good move in turn 11. That was under control. Now Bright, through drama here. Heimgartner having a huge lose down at Penrite Corner. Manages to get away with it. Loses a bunch of spots, but very easily could have been off the road. So this is Martin slipping back. He's been off the road. Bright is through to the lead of the motor race. There is the V-dub. Further down the road. So drama for Martin, and he's going to cost himself another spot here with Dylan O'Keefe. So if that contact has done something to that Civic Type R, it's causing drama for Martin.
Level-headed stuff from Dylan O'Keefe. While all that's been unfolding, lock break again from Will Brown as he hustles that car. Chases Jason Bright, but O'Keefe into a podium position. Tony D'Alberto gets by his Honda stablemate, and coming through is young Aaron Cameron, who arrived here today on his green P plates and has gone racing. And he's doing a super job. Didn't have a great start to practice, but racing well here.
Big drama at turn 1, off the road, one of the Alphas. It's Jordan Cox who goes on a wild, wild ride. It's Willing in this first race of the weekend. Do they all realise there's 2 more tomorrow?
And that it's a progressive grid. How you finish this one, Martin.
Left front drama. John Martin is limping in front of our commentary position at turn 3, and the left front tyre is down. That must have been from that contact with Will Brown earlier. So big drama for the Honda Civic Type R. He's limping around at the tail of the field at turn 4. And all of that drama and chaos put Jason Bright into the lead. Here's Martin. There's that left front I was talking about. It's Cactus. That's ruined his race.
11 laps to go. How'd you like to be the race director? There's action everywhere at the moment.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Looking here at Alexandra Whitley having a bit of a fight with Leanne Tander. They're running 12th. Back to the front here with Jason Bright. Remember that Brighty won the first race. He will forever be the inaugural series race winner in TCR Australia on the first race at Sydney Motorsport Park back in May. Did a deal to acquire a couple of VW Golfs from TCR Asian Series off the track at Sepang in Malaysia, where they were winning, and then he turned up and won at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's been a bit of a lean patch for Bright ever since, but he's back in form here at Winton. Great fight here. Tony D'Alberto, Aaron Cameron, Nathan Morecambe, 4th, 5th, 6th place.
Nathan Morecambe in the background there, as you said, in that 6th spot. Andre Heimgartner 7th. Tim Brook on debut is position number 8. Nice job by Brooksy. And Hamish Ribberitz, who made an appearance, of course, at Phillip Island in one of the Audis and is driving the Astra this weekend. He's in the 10. Solid stuff there too.
So the Astras have gone in opposite directions. Heimgartner started at the front and is working his way back. Ribberitz started down in the back and is working his way forward, and they've almost met. Heimgartner 7th, Ribberitz is 10th. As we look at Tony D'Alberto, who we probably would have thought might have jagged a race win somewhere so far this year. He's been on the podium a few times. He had one in the last race at Queensland Raceway, but it had been a big drought since a couple in the first round at Sydney Motorsport Park. Of course, he will team up with Fabian Coulthard for the Enduro Cup in the Supercars again. He's become a really reliable, steady, safe pair of hands for DJR Team Penske. And he's keeping himself sharp by doing TCR this year and working really hard with the Wall Racing team.
And that took him overseas very recently for some stuff internationally in the Lamborghini with Adrian Dietz and Cameron McConville as well at Suzuka, so pretty cool.
Absolutely. We're seeing at our commentary box window too that Jordan Cox's Alpha is not back on the road. It is in the old pit facility, which is where we're riding on board with Aaron Cameron, just off to the right there, up in the old pits. That's where they're towing the Alpha. So some dramas for a range of teams and drivers ahead of tomorrow's race. James Moffat standing up on the wall on the old pits watching this race with his helmet on the car. It's been a tough day for the Renault team. This was the move. Brown down the inside 11, pulled it up. Martin back down the inside. Bang, there's the contact. That would have punctured the left front tyre on the Honda, sent Brown off the road. And then Heimgartner had this wild moment over the backside of the circuit. Managed to get rolling again. Now Cox and Martin were together there, down at turn 1. So maybe that's where the further dramas occurred for Martin, or it's already started to unfold. A little bit hard to work out with so much going on in these TCR races. What we do know here is that this is the lead Honda. Tony D'Alberto in 4th. Tim Brook on debut is back in 8th. And that is the wheel rim that's come off the John Martin car. They're going to send him back into the race. Because remember, keep going, get some points, be classified as a finisher, and at least you start race 2 tomorrow in front of the cars that don't finish today.
Just in terms of championship, or series lead, I should say, O'Keefe 3 seconds behind Will Brown. That's between 2nd and 3rd place. Bright leading the way by 1.4 seconds. There you go. There are the gaps. Then Tony D'Alberto coming through turn 2 now. Nice work by Aaron Cameron. Heimgartner back in position 7. Ingle holds down position 9. Just thought the Audis in qualifying form and even in racing form here, we just thought they might be a little bit further forward. Maybe Winton is not quite working out their way this weekend.
No, it hasn't proven to be an Audi venue. Remember, though, that Liam McAdams, one of the drivers in those cars, and it's his first weekend in TCR, so he's still learning the ropes a little bit. Here's D'Alberto, P4. And O'Keefe just in front. The race has just settled down now. We had that wild period where everyone was tripping over everyone else. Bryce Forward's back on the road. The Subaru's just gone by us too, so that drive shaft replacement's been made. He's 4 laps down on the leader, which remains Jason Bright. The Task Force V-Dub comes into this weekend 9th in the series after that strong start and has faded away somewhat, but these points will help working back up the order because a couple of points here and there that'll pick up a couple of spots over the course of this weekend. Cam with more.
I've got Barry Hay here with me now. Baz, Queensland Raceway, you said race wins were all important. I think finishing in front of Will Brown's even more important at the moment. Have you been on the radio with him?
We were just telling him just get out there and just drop the hammer, really. So it's just chaos out there, so you just got to bide your time for the first 4 or 5 laps, then just go like a robber's dog and see what you can come up with, really. But, mate, Will's fast, no doubt about it. He tangles with someone, he still powers back, so he's quite a bloke to chase, no doubt about that.
You've been looking at the strengths of both cars. Where has Dylan O'Keefe got it over Will Brown in this circuit?
Mate, just staying out of trouble because he's a bit more sit back, see what happens, whereas Will, he's loose. He's way loose, and it makes a good spectator sport, but, you know, like he's all over the shop, but, mate, he's rocket fast. So just consistency is what we're working at. Just see how we go.
Thanks, Baz.
Thank you.
And he's delivering that, really. He's position 3 at the moment, on course for yet another podium. It would be his 8th of the season, Dylan O'Keefe. That's pretty good. That's what builds titles.
That's right, but the only problem is that Will Brown's on
Ahead
his
of him.
9th podium. So if he's always just that one step ahead, it makes it harder to catch in the series. Remember, it's round 5. We've got 2 to come. Sandown in 3 weeks' time, which will be a massive weekend with the Shannon's Nationals, the debut of S5000 and Porsche Michelin G3 Cup Challenge, Kumo Super 3. It's all going on in Victoria, so if you're in this part of the world, make sure you get to Sandown in a few weeks' time. Hey, Russell Ingall and Tim Brooke here are fighting for 8th and 9th place. Ingall in the Castrol Audi, Brooke driving the 3rd Wall Racing Honda Civic, which has been a bit of a community car in the last couple of rounds. It's had a couple of different drivers. Jordan Mickles, the Kiwi, in the last round, and also we saw Jordan Cox debut this car at the Ben Motorsport Park. So this is a good fight. 8th and 9th place at the moment. 11 laps down. Jason Bright leads the way by 1.2 seconds. Emma with more.
There's been plenty of carnage already, which has meant good news for Jason. He's looking very strong in front.
Yeah, Jason's benefited from the other guys falling off the track, and he looks like he's going to win this one. Brown's catching us, but not quick enough, so easy.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Curse of the Black Jelly Bean saying stuff
I would
like
never
that.
say that.
He's on target to win and it's easy. Oh boy, did he cross his fingers when he said that? We'll wait and see. The margin he is building though. That's the positive out of it all. It's 1.4 seconds now over Will Brown. Jason Bright is controlling this race here at Winton today. Lap 12 of 17. On board with Aaron Cameron in the Volkswagen Golf. Young gun, 19 years of age. The youngest driver in the field, and building all sorts of experience in Super Utes and Toyota 86 and even a former Bathurst 89X Tirana. Oh, Alexandra Whitley, contact with the back of Leanne Tander. They were just outside the top 10. So there might be a discussion had after this race about that one. And Leanne Tander's got a very familiar voice on the radio this weekend. Someone she lives with.
Husband doing the driver coaching, GT.
And on the radio.
Every time we've rocked up with the microphone to have a chat with him, he's got the serious face on. So he's what a guy, from the TV work that he does to his racing, and he's so articulate when it comes to that stuff. So good at analysing and knowing and being able to help. And he did it with a youngster in Hunter McElrea in recent time in Formula Ford, and he's gone off to do some great things racing in the United States, in Portland this weekend.
Back on board here with Will Brown, Greg, and that margin's 1.6 seconds now, so Jason Bright is building and he's moving away. There he is, Task Force VW Golf. Of course, Brighty finishing up full-time supercar racing a couple of years ago. Did the Enduros with Lee Holdsworth last year and put together this program this year to get in on the ground floor with TCR Australia. And he's controlling this one. He's just sneaking the margin, a tenth or so a lap.
Discovered chassis and some sort of cross-member issue in the wake of the Queensland round. They had a good look over that car, and they think it goes as far back as Phillip Island. The car was good in the opening 2 rounds. They seem to have cured that again here, albeit at a very different venue at Winton Motor Raceway. Aaron Cameron having a look at Tony D'Alberto here as they come down into the final few corners. Not quite close enough, but it's a big lunge from Aaron Cameron. And once again, he races strongly. He was good in the first and third sector in qualifying, but just wasn't able to stitch together that perfect lap. And they were able to find a couple of issues with that car in relation to the toe in the rear of the car after qualifying. So as they've chipped away here, they've obviously got a good race car, and Aaron Cameron using it to good effect.
He's looking menacing here. He's shown the nose a few times to Tony D'Alberto. Dylan O'Keefe's just in front. He's steady in third place, looking for another podium position in the Alfa Romeo on board with Cameron. Love this corner. The sweeper in any race car is good, but particularly in these front-wheel drive TCR cars, they are right on edge in terms of the grip that's on offer. as it's proven to be. We thought it would be a great track for these cars, not just for the spectacle and the appeal, but the racing quality as well. They're really tight, and it's a variety of brands. They sound a bit different, they all look a bit different, but they're achieving speed that's pretty similar.
And we've got 2 races to come tomorrow, so don't miss that whatever you do. Live on SBS, as we continue to watch the fight between Tony D'Alberto in position 4, Aaron Cameron in P5. And that battle we watched before as well, Russell Ingall versus Tim Brook. Ingall is ahead of Brook now, so the Audi up to position 8. Brook, position number 9. We go back to Aaron Cameron again. Gap now between O'Keefe and Will Brown is 5.9 seconds. So Brown safely in P2, and Bright with 1.5 seconds up his sleeve in the lead.
And for Will Brown, that's another 4 points over Dylan O'Keefe that he will earn back. Second place is worth 36, third is worth 32. That will take the margin now to 63 points. As we look here at Aaron Cameron, 6th in the series. He'll pick up a spot in this race because James Moffat, who is 5th, is parked and not going to score any points at all. D'Alberto, the Honda. Cameron, the Volkswagen. This category's given guys like Aaron Cameron an opportunity to run against known drivers who've established careers in supercars and other categories. Guys like Bright, D'Alberto, and Heimgartner and Ingall on the platform with them. He's just close enough here to Tony D'Alberto to keep that pressure on. Bright's got this race under control, 1.5 seconds. Get the feeling that Will Brown might just have decided here it's not worth pushing on any harder. There's not much to gain. The main title rival, Dylan O'Keefe, is just behind. So the bigger picture of things, 4 more points in the series for the lead is handy to have. That time around, Brown 125.44, Bright at 25.86. So the HMO Customer Racing i30N is closing in. But we've got 1 lap left to go. Just under 3 kilometres of racing for this first race in round 5 of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Crazy start to the race. A delayed start with James Moffat's Renault, stopping with fuel pressure dramas. Once we got going, it lit up again. On board for the final time with Aaron Cameron through the sweeper in position number 5. 2 podiums for him this year at Phillip Island and the last round at Queensland Raceway. But this guy's been on it. Won the first race in Sydney, has not been on the podium ever since. It's taken until the 13th race of the season. We said it might be unlucky for some. It's been lucky for others. Jason Bright, 2 corners to go at Winton Motor Raceway to reply against the young guns in the TCR Australia Series. Turn 11, then turn 12, and he's going to bring it home. A win for the Volkswagen Golf GTI under glorious blue skies at Winton. 2 races to go tomorrow, but today it's about the 40 series points, and Jason Bright is a winner again in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Cameron off the road on the second last corner, on the run to the last corner. He'll rejoin and get to the line, but that's drama, and that's a spot gone because Nathan Morecambe grabs 5th place at the checkered flag. So 1 spot lost for Cameron, but a win, the 2nd of the season to Jason Bright, that Task Force Volkswagen Golf. That worked out really well. Some drama early on between John Martin and Will Brown, but in the end it was Jason Bright who gets the job done at Winton Motor Raceway. Recap the results. Volkswagen, Hyundai, Alfa Romeo on the podium. Dylan O'Keefe racks up another podium. D'Alberto not far away. Morecambe with P5, then Aaron Cameron. Andre Heimgartner from the front row back to 7th. Russell Ingall, best of the Audis from Tim Brook. Liam McAdam rounding out the top 10. Stay with us. Trophies and champagne not far away at Winton Motor Raceway. Back at Winton Motor Raceway at the completion of Race 1 Round 5 in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Jason Bright, it's been a while between drinks. We haven't seen him on the podium for quite some time. He's got the job done today with his second race win of the season. For James Moffat, it's a slow drive back to pit lane. Tough stuff for the Renault. Let's head down to the lane. Here's Greg Russ.
Moons, you've known the trademark Jason Bright smile for many years, and it's back today because you're back in the winner's circle. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It puts a bit of a distant memory on the last couple of rounds, but the car was really good. We were good out the first couple of laps there. I could see everyone was sort of struggling for tyre temp, and we were actually pretty strong in that first little section. It took a couple of laps to get past Andre, but the car was good all race. Really happy.
Congratulations. We'll get Peter Heatley here from Michelin, the motorsport manager here in Australia, to give you the #1 trophy for race 1 of the weekend. Let's go to position number 2 now. It's the series leader. You said you wanted to go and chase race wins, and you tried to do that today. It was game on, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely tried. I felt like a bit of a battering ram for a little bit. We had a few hits, but that's all right. It was a good race. Jason drove awesome at the end and just couldn't catch him. So we seemed to have good pace, but try again tomorrow. We're still up the front row.
Tell us about the skirmish, the battle with Johnny Martin there, and how you felt it was going into that final turn.
Yeah, I obviously did dive down into the second last turn, and then last turn I thought I left plenty room or enough room on the inside, and just got pushed off. So I'll have to have a look at the footage. Like, you never know until you look at the footage from the outside, but did a bit of damage to our right front, so it made it a bit tough.
Okay, well, we do have some good news for you, and that is you've got yet another trophy. Peter Heatley from Michelin Australia to give you second position. Congratulations. And Dylan O'Keefe, it was fighting stuff from you, but it was about eyes on the big prize, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment it's all about the championship. Not ideal that we finished behind Will, but we're having a few in-house issues with the braking. So at Queensland it was the braking rotors, and then now at the moment I feel like there's something wrong with the pedal box. I just can't stop the car. It feels so dangerous, so I'm glad to make it to the finish for that one. Tonight we'll go through everything and hopefully come back faster for tomorrow.
Well, so how difficult was it to manage that during the race?
Yeah, it was super tough. I was just trying to keep composed, and I'd have to say it's one of the hardest races I've done. Like, even in qualifying we had a few issues. I thought it was just bleeding the brakes would fix that, but turns out it doesn't. So hopefully tonight we can have a good look at it and sort it for tomorrow.
Well, we've got a little something to make you feel just a fraction better. You're still right in the championship game, and that is a third place trophy. Peter Heatley from Michelin Australia. There's the top 3 as we go to Cameron for more from the lane.
Well, the big news outside of that podium, Rusty, was Gary Rogers Motorsport, 3 DNFs for you. It's a tough day.
Well, motorsport can be a very tough business. You just got to toughen up and keep pushing on as best you can.
So, Gary, we had a brake issue in the Pither car. We had a fuel supply issue in the Moffat car. And then for Jordan Cox, it looked like an incident that was out there. It's very difficult when there's 3 different reasons.
Well, no, it's not difficult. I mean, 2 of these reasons we're undoing. The crash we can't control. I mean, that was an unfortunate incident, but it happened. But we should have prepared better than we did.
All right, Gary, good luck tomorrow.
Good.
So you want Chad just saying?
You will always get a straight answer from Gary Rogers, and he always tells it like it is. So a win for Jason Bright. Dramas to fix for various teams, including GRM. More racing tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll wrap it all up from Winton.